Hi everyone, this video is about how to buy a violin. A lot of parents call me and they ask how to do so, and this video is sharing with you what my recommendations are as a violin teacher. Assuming that you are a beginner and you are a child, that child would need to be sized appropriately. And there are quarter size increments that typically occur for violins. For example, this is a 10th size instrument, which is not in a quarter size, but is a smaller violin in comparison to something a little bit larger, which would be a half size violin. So quarter size increments, definitely seek out a professional that can assist you in sizing a violin for your child. If you're an adult, you would automatically qualify as a full size violin that you'd be looking for, 4/4. So next thing to consider is, what is your budget? Typically speaking, I actually recommend that students purchase used Suzuki violins online. Why? Because there are many in circulation because of the Suzuki method, and typically they're built quite well. They were built in Nagoya, Japan by Dr. Shinichi Suzuki's family, and they stand well to the test of time. And most importantly, the few things that I look for in a violin, and I would certainly recommend that you seek professional assistance in selecting the right violin, used violin, online. The few things that I typically look for in a violin, if I'm going to buy it used, regardless of whether it's a Suzuki or not, is how the pegs are fitted. That's first and foremost. 25 pounds of pressure from scroll to button for a full-size violin is a lot of tension to be held by wooden pegs situated in wooden holes. I would definitely and most certainly recommend to not purchase a brand new violin that is Chinese made. Most brand new violins that you can purchase for $100 to $200 would be of very poor quality, probably factory made. That is the difference between a Suzuki violin, where the pegs are fitted quite well and they can keep their grip within the hole because they've been fitted by hand and not by a machine. The next thing I want to look for is to make sure that the bridge is in alignment. It's sometimes you can tell with pictures, sometimes not. I typically like to see, if I'm buying a used violin, to make sure that all 4 tuners are situated in the tailpiece or on top of the tailpiece, at the top of the tailpiece. Making sure that there's a chin rest, making sure that there's generally no cracking anywhere involved. Sometimes you will notice that one peg might be a little bit different, such as here. This may have been refitted at some point, but most of the Suzuki violins typically have the rounded black pegs. Other things to look for are a good, in looking for a good violin, is a good bow. Making sure that it looks like it can be tightened properly, making sure that you have a good case to keep it in. A good case would be something like this. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, just something that's secure and tight so that you know you can protect it. Making sure that you can close the clasp properly. Typically, you're looking at $100 to $200 for a used Suzuki violin, and I've had great luck in finding hundreds of them in assisting students either on Facebook Marketplace or eBay. Like I said, it is very important to be certain that you are purchasing a true Suzuki violin. You can find that by looking in through the F-holes, and you will see a label. It would actually be on this side. You would see a label that would say Suzuki violin. Let's see what other things. So, pegs being fitted, noting that the labels inside, making sure that the bridge is in functioning order, it's not popped out, making sure there are no missing strings or missing pegs. The next price increase would go up to about $400, and there are a few different places that I would recommend. I'm in Connecticut, so local to my area, if I was going to purchase a violin for $400, I would suggest going to either Beekman Beekman Violin in South Kingston, Rhode Island, or Carriage Violin in Newton, Mass. Another resource, although they're more specific to basses, is Upton Bass, and that's located in Mystic, Connecticut. So these are the local places that I would seek. Eastman is a good violin if you're looking to purchase something used in the $400 range, and you could do the same thing as I was discussing with Suzuki violins, in purchasing them either on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, that sort of thing. Typically, you want to know that you can return it if it's not, in good functioning order. The next price increase will raise to $1,000, $1,200. That's where you're going to get a very nice violin, kind of graduating off of the higher ranks from a student violin, and this would be a good thing to purchase through Beekman Violin. Upton Bass does have a number of violins available, as does Carriage Violins, for good quality, a good value for your money at that price. And then upward, you could spend as much money as you would like. I hope that all of this helps. I think I've covered everything, and I hope you enjoy.